It's safe to say that this generation is full of lustful motherfuckers. Lust can and will tear everything that you worked for in life. It's absolutely phenomenal the amount of people that have glorified lust in this generation. In today's society, lust is prevalent, so much so to the point that it's normalized. And a lot of people fail to understand that lust has literally taken families away, it's divided families, it's destroyed relationships, and even to the extent of killing people. It has, I mean, for once, I'm, well, I don't claim to be a Christian, but I know some Christian theology. I grew up in the church, and I have a heavy relationship with God, and I came to understanding that it has literally destroyed some of the biggest leaders in the Bible. Some of the most prominent figures in the text have succumbed to their own pride and their own lust. The biggest reason for all this happening again in modern society comes down to the lack of leadership in our men and the self-respect from our women and the validation that our women have, and the this pretty much the insecurity from both parties. And our role models are pushing that it's cool to have sex, that it's cool to fuck. Our role models push this BS narrative that sex is cool. Sex is something that you should do. You're not living your life to the fullest if you had sex. If you're not sleeping with a man, you're not doing it right. With guys, it's it's been a normal thing. But being in this generation, it feels like we have fallen back so far from God, bro. And even with people like Preacher Keys, Chris Gone Crazy, I seen in the clutch with their Bible studies, and there's a lot of pastors and creators that are making content now. Shout out to FGTV too for pushing. It's Vince specifically for pushing his Christian beliefs, but I feel like I don't see it enough. I don't see it enough in the world. And we fell back so far from God that even the women are preaching it now. The biggest reason, the music, the role models, what we see on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, any social media, it is slowly rotting our brains and influencing our minds. And the government and the CIA, they know this. Why do you think that we're so why we have a government that is so, and people wonder why we talk about the government so much, because the government is so corrupted and they don't want us to win. They don't want us to be satisfied. They push this BS narrative on purpose because it all leads to destruction. It became cool to have sex, and that is the problem. Like, our society normalizes it so much that it doesn't even get looked as a dilemma, as an issue, when in reality, it has led to STDs, unwanted pregnancies, children, regret, death, destruction, chaos, immorality, killing, gang banging. Like, all these things are prevalent through lust. There are so many things that ultimately pushes you away from God. And there are so many things I could talk about in this video, but I want to make this video short about lust that is generally detrimental to one's life. You have people like Shannon Sharp, who, because they lusted, they gave all the power to a woman who tried to tear down her career. I'm not, and mind you, I'm not throwing out, oh, I'm not shaming people. I'm just using the examples that I know. Look at Eazy-E having sex with probably hundreds of women and ended up dying because he because of his own lust. Wilt Chamberlain, like for all y'all who are into sports, who are into basketball, I can go on and on and on with these examples. And even taking it back to prehistoric times, I can go on and on. People like Magic Johnson. The list goes on. Lust has been a problem for decades, and it's sadly it's sadly getting worse. And that's, if anything, that's the fucked up part about it. There's a lot of grown ass men who are stuck in this high school mentality. There are teenagers, there are high schoolers, and now even middle schoolers. Man, that's crazy that I said middle schoolers. But bro, that's not even like funny, bro. That's the level that it got to, where even middle schoolers, their social status is predicated on fucking. Bro, they that think if you're not having sex, you're not cool. I know this. At one point in time, all my friends were having sexual intercourse at a very, very young age, at least the people that I grew up around. And we're talking sixth, seventh, eighth grade. And for those of you who do not know, I'm still a virgin. I'm saving up for the right one. Uh, I'm not gonna let nobody make fun. I feel like that's more respectable. But that's besides the point. But because they were doing it and I wasn't, I felt insecure about myself. I felt left out. I felt like I wasn't enough for nobody. I felt like I wasn't doing the right thing. I wasn't cool enough. Like I just wasn't enough. And that's the insecurity paradox. The fact that I wouldn't have sex, but I would masturbate. At least, ev- there was a point in time, and let's be honest here, there was a point in time people, where every single man that comes to this channel was doing it every single day. And I'm not gonna cap to y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you. I used to do it every single day, multiple times a day. Like, there's plenty of kids and plenty of teenagers that feel the exact same way, that feel insecure about themselves, that are in the exact same position. And they seek for that validation. They seek for that short-term love that isn't going to lead them anywhere but in a life filled with regret, trauma, and tribulations. And it ultimately pushes them to lust. It pushes them to sin. It pushes them to turn away from God. Bro, if lust wasn't cool, if having sex wasn't cool, it wouldn't be as pushed nowadays as it's as it is right now. I mean, look at Twitch, look at Instagram, look at TikTok, look at YouTube, look at X videos, look at Pornhub. Nowadays, everybody's fucking everybody. And I'm sorry, mind you, I'm sorry. I greatly apologize for the subject matter and the vulgar language, but that's just the way I feel, bro. That's just what it comes down to. Nowadays, a high body count is the gateway to validation. When 20 years ago, you could just get by for being yourself. You don't need to have a high body count. In fact, it was frowned upon to have a high body count because you would be seen as promiscuous. Nowadays, it's cool to have a high body count, to sleep with multiple women. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know if you notice, but I notice this a lot. There are certain women, and there's men, and there's a lot more men than women. I'm talking to the men because I am a male, and it's the men. It's always the men who is predominant with this shit. But with men, this has been an issue for centuries at this point, even to prehistoric times where we fought to fuck. This isn't anything new for men. But the fact that women are stepping into this predatory behavior of acting like grown men and being dominant and doing all this crazy promiscuous stuff and bragging about it to their homegirls, trying to gain social status or some clout because you top off every man in the school. It's pretty freaking it's scary, don't you think? Don't you think? There's no there's no it's equally as bad. I'm not trying to give any gender leeway. I'm not trying to validate any gender. I'm not trying to say which one is worse because they're both equally as bad. Everybody needs to repent. Everybody needs to flee from this people pleasing, promiscuous, evil, lustful, sinful world because I feel like people pleasing. That's where it stems from. Trying to be validating to people. That's where it stems from. Trying to gain the most followers, have money. That's where it stems from. If you have intercourse with the baddest girl in the school, what's the first thing you're gonna do? You go and tell your friends about something that should have been kept private. It should have been sacred. Nowadays, it's nothing now. It's shit. People don't care anymore who they lose it to. Oh, I just hit woo woo. I just hit wooty wooty woo. Same for the girls. Girls chase men with status. Girls fuck men with status. I don't want to be disrespectful but look at a rapper like Rod Wave, Tory Lanez, PJ Washington with Brittany Renner, the whole situation. Point is, girls will have sex with certain men just to say that they did it. Girls have fallen in love with status. It's not about the man anymore. It's not about being responsible or being real or having a backbone, having principles. It's not about that anymore. They love to be able to, they love to be able to talk to people who have money, clout, power, fame, status. Girls will have sex with the ugliest man on earth. Now, I seen this shit. I seen it in high school. And you know what it led to? People getting cheated on. And I'm not here to judge anybody, even though I put a lot of people on blast without saying their name. Because that's how the devil works. And when I speak directly to them, it unleashes a demon out of them. Because it's just the way it is. People can't hear what you have to say because the minute it addresses them, they get all trigger happy and they start getting emotional and shit. Which I don't even get. But girls will have sex with the ugliest man on earth just because of who he is. Just because of his status. If he's famous, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. They will do whatever they can to fuck that man. Just so they can run their damn mouth. Just so they can say, oh, you know who I hit? It's the same with men though, but girls do this too. And the fact that they're doing it is scary. Like I said, men, it all stems from people pleasing. Men aren't real men anymore. Men don't have a backbone. Men don't have principles. It all stems from, hey, what can I say to impress this chick? What can I do to get in this girl's panties the next one night? It all stems from validation. You have women like Travis Hunter. What's going on with his fiance? I don't want to speak on another man that is apparently Christ-centered. Jaden Ivey has to lose his girl and predominantly lose his basketball career for Jesus. And even though I may not like it, I can't put down a man. I can't disrespect a man who decides to turn his life to Jesus, bro. I can't disrespect that, bro. I can't. I wish the best for Travis Hunter, but in my eyes, I feel as if Travis Hunter wasn't Travis Hunter, if he wasn't the multi-million-dollar man who is playing the NFL right now, doing his thing, but if he wasn't Travis Hunter, the woman wouldn't be on his side because it all comes down to money. We could say that lust is the root of all evil, but money is the root of all evil too. Now, again, I could be completely wrong. That's just my opinion. Feel free to comment in the comment section. You don't have to agree with it, but that's just how I feel. And I say that with all respect. I respect Travis Hunter. I respect what he did for college football. He's probably one of the greatest defensive backs, and he's probably one of the greatest receivers and defensive backs. Probably one of the greatest players in college football to be able to play both ends. He literally innovated football. But I just had to use him as an example, man. Like, this shit, it never ends. It never ends. This is the thing that you have to understand with getting married for the wrong reasons. And I'm not just talking about Travis Hunter now. I'm speaking to everybody who would come to this video and just hear it. I'm just speaking generally. I'm just saying in specific, doing things for the wrong reasons. Not doing things because you want to do things. Doing things because it either benefits you, you want to be cool, you want to seek validation. When you do these certain things, men, to all my niggas, it never works out for you. Well, obviously, if you have a one night stand for validation and you go tell your friends, there's nothing bad really that comes out of it, other than your own pride. Other than the fact that you have to significantly reduce your standards low to where you can't commit to one woman. You can't, like, at least you think it can, there's always a chance. But what do you honestly gain from it, bro? What do you gain from having pointless sex? Meaningless sex. What do you gain? It just makes you more empty inside. It just makes you more empty inside. And it doesn't have to come to sex. I'm still a virgin. And there was a point in time where I was masturbating every single day. For years. Years. I kid you not, I have never been more broken. I have never been more empty. Senior year of high school, it was supposed to be the best time in high school. Because I'm graduating, I'm making all these connections with friends that will last several years. I ended up becoming the most miserable. I had to cut off everybody for this shit. I became suicidal, bruh. Obviously, when you're doing these acts, when you're in the acts, you don't really feel it. But when you go lay down at night, once the act is done and you rest your head on that pillow when you close your eyes, you know what I mean? And some people don't even feel this at all. Some people don't even feel the same guilt, which to me is fucked. That means they are very, very far from God. They are very far gone. All I can do is speak from my experience. And in my experience, masturbating every single day. And I'm talking about from fourth grade all the way to high school. Probably my freshman, sophomore year of high school. It just made me more empty, more sad, and more vulnerable. I didn't have a backbone. I wasn't strong enough. And football and sports in general have toughened me up. That's the only thing I can say. But there's a lot of resentment with that too, because you need to be the best to get respect, to get all the women, to get all the fame, to get all the clout. All that shit is bullshit to me. That is bullshit. And anybody who thinks that football is the way of life, they're a fucking liar. But even with masturbating, even with football, even with all this shit that was put in front of me in high school, it was a gateway to depression. It was just like I was making the void bigger and bigger and bigger in my heart, and I was becoming a different person. I was looking in the mirror every day. I didn't even feel like myself anymore. I felt like shit. I felt ugly. That's what lust can do to people, bro. It really can. And I haven't, bro. Thank God for me. I hit a rhythm, bro. I can probably count the times I masturbated in 1 year on one hand. Probably less than 5 fingers. These women have artists like I know she's bro. Cardi B with WAP, Megan Thee Stallion, Ice Spice. These people have like the list goes on, bro. Nothing but bad influences, nothing but demons roaming this earth. What happened? What happened to the ladies having class? What happened to the ladies being emotional, being vulnerable, being consoled by men, regulating men's emotions, being there standing up for our men, bro? What happened to that? I would do it. I would lose it all to get that time period back. I would sacrifice anything to have that back. It's the love is honestly not there anymore. That ship has sailed, bro. I'm not gonna say for a specific community, but I'm pretty damn positive we all know what we're talking about. I was raised in this community. I was groomed in this community. I didn't want to have this community on me, but eventually it eventually crept up behind me. I wasn't listening to it as much as other people, but I was spiritually weak. I was raised in this community, bro. So don't tell me that. Don't try to fucking argue with me. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing in the comments. I don't want to hear nothing you motherfuckers got to say to me. It's just a life of lust, a life of sin. The point of this video is to let y'all know that lust, there's nothing to be gained out of it. You're only going to take L's from this shit. There's only negatives that can come out of it. It's pointless, meaningless sex. There's only negatives that can come out of having sex with her because you're lusting. Having sex with him because of his status. There's only bad. This when you're doing it's not going to lead to a happy ending. It won't work. God will not let it work. Yes, it may work for some years, but eventually the house of cards will come falling down. The foundation is nothing. The foundation is hay. The foundation is not bricks. It's wheat. It's literally paper plates. There's many people that will lie in that bed and will have no regrets, no fucks given. This lifestyle that you're living right now, this is a very, very dark lifestyle that will lead you to hell. And I don't want to be, I hate to say it, and a lot of people will come at me saying, oh, tone it down. I can't tone it down for you niggas, bro. I can't, because I will be damned if I don't use this platform to motivate people to fix their life. If I don't convict people, because that's what this generation needs more than anything. Anything, bro. If you're not getting convicted watching this shit, then you're honestly lying to yourself and you're lying to the positive movement that I'm trying to put out. Because all I'm trying to do is do something positive, trying to help help whoever this needs to hear, bro. It will lead you to a very, very scary place if you don't turn this around and repent. That's all I have to say. This lifestyle leads to nothing but heartbreak. Nothing but years and years of setting yourself back. Say a baby comes in the picture. You just set yourself back years. Congratulations. You played yourself. You're financially fucked. You're spiritually, mentally, emotionally, naturally, you're cooked. You're done. If you're not in the right position to take care of a kid, it sets you back. Obviously, if you're in the right position and if you have money and you're in the right position to take care of a kid, sure, your life will probably be easier. But if you have a kid, you fuck around and have a kid with the wrong person, the wrong woman, the wrong man. I'm talking to y'all right now. If you have a kid with the wrong person, you're going to have 18, 19 years of hell. Pain. Deep, deep, dark pain, resentment, regret. You're going to put your child through so much hell. Your child is going to come up being insecure, having PTSD, trauma, scars from a childhood that they will have to deal with themselves. And you're going to feel every bit of that shit. You're going to feel bad for having sex with the wrong woman. You're going to feel bad for choosing the wrong woman, the wrong mother of your son, and it's going to haunt you for the rest of your days. Haunt you may be a strong word, but you get the point. It's going to stick with you. You're going to think about it all the time. Choosing the right woman is a necessity. It's not a maybe. It's not, oh, this fruit is my point. It's not a maybe. I'll dabble in this 50-50. No! It's a necessity. Your life depends on it. This furthers my point of having meaningless sex, bro. If you have meaningless sex, you're risking giving your son or daughter the wrong mother versus if you choose the right woman. If you wait, you can build a strong family. You can build a loving, supporting family. I genuinely hope y'all take something from this. My mom just came in. I pray that God changes your lustful ways. I pray that you flee from sin because it leads to nothing but destruction, death, chaos, everything, all the negative words you could think of. It leads to that and more. And more. And worse. Everything you could probably possibly think about. That's what the path leads to. That's what it genuinely does, bro. And if at this point, um, I hope this video resonates with whoever needs to hear it. Mom just walked into the bathroom, man. Yeah, but we just fixed the sink too. Yeah, we're just gonna keep it in raw. But hey, man, that's everything. But that's the real, bro. If y'all don't like me, because y'all haven't, I haven't even tapped into this type of realness, bro. But all I'm doing is reading my Bible, getting closer to God, creating content, staying up on my grind, trying to help my family with this. So subscribe, man. It helps the channel a lot. But anyways, man. Hopefully this resonates with whoever needs to resonate. Whoever this needs to resonate. And I'll talk to y'all soon. And as always, stay tuned for more.